Back in the late 70s and early 80s, Atari was the pioneer in the video game industry. At a time when gaming was just starting to take off, Atari excelled at bringing countless games to the industry. While the video game market did crash with the Atari, the impact the console had overall was strong to say the least. Over the years, Atari has had numerous classic compilations brought to consoles such as the PS1, Dreamcast, PS2, etc., as well as hardware releases from AtGames and even Arcade 1-Up. Most recently has been the Atari Flashback Classics, now on the Switch. This collection started off as a collection of volumes containing 50 games on both volumes 1 and 2, with a third volume out now on the PS4 and X1. The Switch version ditches the whole volume format and presents you all 3 of those volumes on a single cartridge, providing you a total of 150 games at the price of what would cost for just 2 volumes on the PS4 and X1. So, is this a trip down memory lane, or should these classics remain in the past? Let's find out. Atari Flashback Classics, as mentioned, provides a total of 150 games. These range from arcade versions of games to Atari 2600 and even Atari 5200 games. The menu system is snappy and lets you see a screenshot of the arcade cabinet or the cover of the game as you highlight them. All the Atari 2600 and 5200 games are shown as if they were the top of their respective game cartridges when you're going through the list. What's cool is that every 2600 and 5200 game has the full instruction manuals scanned to view in detail. Also, each game has plenty of settings to tweak. These range from customized controls, different difficulty options, and even different screen filters. Certain games even have control stick options where you can choose whether to have it as absolute or relative. This means that either certain games you can actually move the analog stick and your character will stay in place, or you'll move the control stick and they'll move based on how much pressure you put on the analog stick, but when you let go, they'll go right back to the center. You can even play several of the games utilizing the touchscreen when playing portable mode. Another nice feature is that when you quit out of any of the games you're playing, you can pick up right where you left off, even if you quit out of the entire game back to the Switch menu. Pretty much all the games here play well and are a great fit for Switch over the PS4 X1 versions due to the pick up and play nature of the games on a hybrid console. Furthermore, there's even online play for a nice selection of the games here. During my online testing, I was able to match up with a few people in some rounds of Asteroids, and the experience was lag-free. However, the online community is a bit on the stagnant side, so don't expect to get into a lot of online matches at this current time. That being said though, it is still really neat to see that these classics are playable with online play. And for those looking to compete with Score, there are online leaderboards for the games. Also, while the Switch does not have a trophy or achievement system in place, there is an in-game achievement system that may keep completionists busy for quite a while. There are a couple of things that do hold this compilation back that should be noted, however. First off, several of the games are, well, not very good by any means, and feel like they were added in just to increase the quantity of the library. Seriously, who wants to play basic math? Another thing is that while I really love the fact that each Atari console port does have the instruction manuals fully scanned, I do wish it was done so at a higher scan resolution. Thinking about it though, that would explain why Atari Flashback Classics' game file size is only about 356 megabytes roughly. The last thing is that it's a real shame that Atari still can't strike a deal with Activision and bring some of their classics into their compilations. And that's the thing. Activision really made some of the most memorable games for the Atari consoles. Pitfall, Keystone Capers, River Raid, Chopper Command. These were games that many who had an Atari remember. To this day, those games are still quite replayable and would be great to see them here as well. Visually, the games do retain their original styles. There are several filters to help simulate the original feel of a CRT TV, and that's a nice touch. Another nice thing is that vector-based games have an option to adjust the glow of objects in the game. So you can make certain objects glow a little bit stronger, a little bit more vibrant, or you can just keep it at a standard level. Menus work quite well, and switching between the games is seamless without any loading whatsoever. The audio is also quite good, with the games having proper audio emulation, and the menu music is pretty upbeat when scrolling through the selection of games. Overall, Atari Flashback Classics for the Switch is definitely the ultimate version to get. At the $40 asking price, you get the complete set of 3 volumes on a single cartridge versus getting volumes 1 through 3 of the collection on the PS4 and X1, which would equate to $60. While out of the 150 games here, there are several clunkers, and it is missing classic titles that Activision made for the platform, there's no denying there's an impressive amount of content still here. Even despite the clunkers in the collection, there's a nice selection of genuinely fun games to pick up and play. Atari fans and retro enthusiasts have a good amount to enjoy here for sure. That's why I'm giving Atari Flashback Classics an 8.0 out of 10.